Hey, it's Bo from perfectlyatpeace.com and welcome to today's Q&A. I have a question from one of our viewers, and his question is, how can I deal with anxiety that results from living in a stressful environment? I feel that many family problems occur because of the stressful and anxious environment. Do you have any advice? And this is a good question, and it's something that I definitely have experience with because I used to have a lot of conflict with my family, a lot of tension in the relationships between me and certain family members. And what I eventually realized, though, is that it's not about them. It's not about the other person. It's not about the family member that you think is creating stress in your life. What I eventually realized is that everything that I experience is filtered through me. No one in this world has ever experienced anything besides their own consciousness. You can only experience through you, through your mind, your body, your consciousness, your spirit. So everything that happens in your life is filtered through your consciousness. So no one else actually has the power to make you stressed, to make you anxious, to make you fearful, to make you depressed, to make you sad. No one actually has that power over you. It's only the way that you are interpreting the situation. So let's start by not giving power to the others, and let's start by re-owning our power to control our experience of life and set a new intention. Set an intention to be at peace no matter what the circumstances of our lives may be. And if we set that intention, we find gradually that it's possible, that it can be achieved, that you can remain perfectly calm, peaceful, and loving, even in the midst of what other people would call a stressful or challenging circumstance. And you can sit in the face of adversity and still keep your peace of mind and still have a positive outlook on things and still be happy. So let's start there by re-owning our power and taking responsibility rather than blaming the situation or blaming the other person. Now let's go a little deeper and find out why certain situations in our lives or certain people in our lives might seem to cause us trouble. One of the reasons, and I'm sharing all this from personal experience, I have a lot of experience doing this internal work on myself and figuring out like where my stress was really coming from. So when it comes to situations or people that we think are causing is causing us stress, we have to go deeper and see that what's really causing it is our desire for those people in our lives or those situations in our lives to be different, and our trying to control them, trying to force them to be different in this present moment, which is actually impossible. What exists in the present moment is what exists. You can't change it in the present. Like, yeah, it could be different 1 second from now, or 1 minute from now, or 1 hour from now, or 1 year from now. Things will be different because change is always continuous. But in this exact present moment of right now, everything is exactly what it is, and it can't be any different than it is. So it's this habit of our mind to judge reality and say that things or people should be different than they are. And when we say that they should be different than they are, that creates stress within us, and it makes us less loving and less peaceful. So first we have to just see that the mind is judging the situation and is interpreting it in a certain way based on its own selfish desires. So the mind has certain desires. It desires maybe to be respected. So if you desire respect and approval from other people, from family members, let's say, and those family members don't give you that respect and approval, then you're going to be stressed or upset about that in some way because your desire is not being met. So it's really selfish desire that is the root of all suffering in our lives. It's selfish desire, our desire to control people and things and situations and circumstances, rather than living with trust and acceptance and love and gratitude. So let's say you have, two family members who are fighting, and you think that is causing the family stress. Maybe it doesn't even directly involve you. Maybe it's just something two other people are going through, and you see the pain that is causing those people in that situation, and you naturally want to change it. Maybe you want to change it out of your compassion, and I'm not saying that that's wrong to want to change things, but what we have to see is that there are learning lessons. There are valuable learning lessons in all situations, especially the things that we call bad, the things that we call challenging or frustrating. Those are the things that have the deepest meaning and purpose for our lives. So what you can try to see is that everyone in this earth, on this planet, is all going through their own unique learning experience. And the suffering that people will go through and the negativity is really there to teach people how to live differently, how to find peace, how to find happiness. But it is not our responsibility to teach anyone that. Everyone has to go through it at their own pace and learn the lessons at their own unique pace, and everyone is different. Some people are slow learners, some people are fast learners, some people seem to be farther behind than others, but everything is perfect. Everyone is evolving at the pace that they are capable of. Everyone is learning what they can learn at that moment in their lives, and it's not our job to change situations that are really out of our control. And it's kind of arrogant in a way to assume that we know what is best for others, or we know what is best for the world, and we think that things need to change. How do we know things need to change? How do we know that that situation is not exactly what that person needs to learn a certain lesson in their life that would help them grow and evolve and become a better person? Like, why would we try to take away those lessons from people? Yeah, I understand we don't want people to suffer. We don't want the world to suffer. But it's suffering oftentimes that wakes people up and makes people better and helps people grow. So we have to realize that it's not our responsibility to make the world be different than it is, or make people be different than they are. Really, because since everything that we experience in life is really just filtered through our consciousness, and we don't have any control over other people's consciousness, then really the only responsibility that we have in life is to learn how to be happy ourselves, learn how to find peace within ourselves. It has nothing to do with anyone else, because we can't change anyone else's consciousness. We can only deal with our own consciousness, our own thoughts, our own feelings, our own selves. That's literally all we have any control over, really. So we have to stop this habit of looking to the outside world, trying to solve the world out there and manipulate and control things out there. And we have to turn our attention back inwards and see, where are we being selfish? Where are we being judgmental? Where are we holding on to resentments or grudges or negativity of any kind? We have to go within continuously and purify ourselves of that negativity and that selfishness. And as we do that, what we find is that the cloudiness of the negativity dissolves away, and then life starts to appear more beautiful. Things start to appear more harmonious, and when you don't have those negative beliefs and judgments and trying to control, and you're not trying to control things, suddenly you start to see the perfection of everything. You start to see how people are learning certain lessons, and how every challenge in your life is actually just like trying to teach you something. and how all of life is serving you perfectly, and how everyone is being served perfectly and learning exactly what they need to learn at that specific time in their life. So when you let go of your own personal judgments of life, you find that life is actually perfect already, and that there's no reason that you need to feel stressed or fearful or upset about anything that's going on in the world. You don't have to feel upset about other people suffering. You don't have to feel upset about the wars going on in the world and all the injustices or crimes and all that negativity that's going on in the world. You don't actually have to feel bad about any of it. And you can just find peace within yourself, live a peaceful, loving, happy life, and that is how you will actually serve humanity in the best way possible, because you can't really help anyone if you're suffering yourself. People learn by example. People don't learn just because you tell them they should do something or they should believe something. People don't respond that way. People are inspired by people that are happy and loving and positive and successful. So if you want to really change the world, if your goal is to change your family or change your friends or change the world in some way, the best thing that you could possibly do to change the world is just to find happiness and peace within yourself and just focus on that at all times. And that can be your only goal in life. Really, that's the only goal worth striving for, is perfect peace of mind, perfect inner peace. I really don't think there's anything more important than that. So let's get it straight and stop looking to the world and blaming the world for our stresses. And let's go within and find out where the real problem lies and examine it, work on it, deal with it, dissolve it, and then allow the spontaneous changes to happen within ourselves. So it's a process of self-purification. Just by becoming aware of our own negativity, our own judgments, we naturally begin to dissolve them. Because when you see that your problems are stemming from within you and they're not actually in the world, then you suddenly become a lot more willing to let go of those judgments, let go of those fears, let go of those doubts or whatever it is. When you see that it's not really about the thing that you thought it was about, when you see that it's not actually caused by the world or caused by other people or situations that you're facing in your life, and when you see that the real cause is solely within yourself, then that gives you a whole different perspective on life. And it just makes you realize how much power you actually have to change your life for the better and live a happy and peaceful life. You realize that the power was always in your hands, and it was never in anyone else's hands, nor ever could be. So just ponder this and just start going within, and anytime something triggers you in the outside world, triggers a negative feeling within you, go within and try to determine the belief or perspective or judgment that is creating that stress. Don't look out there, look inside your own mind and your own heart. That's why all the great spiritual masters throughout history have always said to look within. That is where all the answers lie. They've always been within you. They're not in a book. They're not in anything I'm saying, really. I'm just pointing you back to yourself. So I'm not teaching you anything that you don't already know. If you just go within yourself, you'll realize these truths all on your own. It's very natural. Everyone has this wisdom within themselves if they just are willing to look. So I hope this helps. I hope this gives you a different perspective on this and helps you come to some resolution over these situations and circumstances in your life. So thank you for your question. If you have any more questions for me, if you're watching this video and you have a question that you want me to answer in a future video, just post them in the comments below and I will answer them very shortly.